Do you love Gantt charts? Here's how easily you can build one in ClickUp. Let's map out the tasks for your Gantt chart.
Okay, cool. So we should be good to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
sweet.
Alright, let's do this. So, uh, let me recap. So we want to do a tool to automate most of the animation pipeline. Like in this case, we want to have a tool that automates everything regarding stepping down things. So, as I was saying before, we have this big library of these widgets here, of these windows here that we use everywhere. And every time I need to create a new one, I basically copy and paste what some other one that we've already made, possibly close to the functionality that we want to have, and then customize it, because there is a lot of code here that's very boilerplate. So really, I don't think it's really worth for us to go into details about the real widget UI thing. I think it's just like, it's just, just derived from what is already there. It covers most of the cases, and where it doesn't, and if it doesn't, we will just take action of that if we need to. But basically, our if you look into our root motion guide plugin, so this was originally a plugin made by a Korean guy, very good guy. His name is, shout out to him. Let's see if we can still go there. Yeah, Lee Ju Sik. So this guy made this very nice framework, and basically we bought it a few years ago. And what I did, I just always use this as my baseline for creating widgets, because it did sort of like a sensible structure. So we want to create this step down widget. So what I did is I copy our I copied this split animation widget. This is the animation that this is the widget that you can see here. Let's show you here. Get to split animation. He has this very simple interface here to splitting a long sequence of animation into like multiple parts. It is a binary split. So yes, but this is like a very minimal widget that that we can create, and it has a very good base class here. This UI root motion guide utility base. This is the base class that creates that skeleton of the widget that you see here. Is it split animation? That base class, it just creates this like basically empty window, okay? And so the way you use it is that you define properties here, like an animation sequence, retarget, number splits, and this is just some normal blueprint variables that you expose in C++, right? With this U property thing, right? So when you expose these variables here, they are also exposed in the widget. I keep closing that. If you see here, there is like these variables. They are exposed, and they are like they are already a real engine type ready, right? It's just like it's nice. If it's an animation sequence, it will actually have the proper UI for the animation sequence as it is in the rest of the um, uh, Unreal Engine editor, which is very handy because at least it go like a very unified um, experience. So that is very good. So as you can see, go 1, 2, 3 variable expose, which are again are the same of these guys here. 1, 2, 3 animation sequence target not split, and then yeah, you basically expose all the values that you need, and usually you have a function. This called in this case is called a split animation, a function that I assign to this button here when actually I call it trim animation, but that's my spelling mistake. And this function is where it's basically our execute function. And again, it's very easy. You just dispose it like that. You just link that like that button to run this function, and that's it. It's very straightforward. I like it. So in our case, let's have so we want to create this tool that gets the step down that manages all this step down animation. And because I'm always copy and pasting from some of the classes that I already did, you see that I need to do a search and replace of strings here. So it's this step down animation. Okay. So for this step down, I think we will need is basically the same thing as the split. We will need of the trim. We will need an any sequence to start with. We need to start and end frame where we want to cut our clip for the step down. And I show you, like, we're gonna be quite clever on this, but I'll show you in a few minutes. Then I think we will need to say if we want to save as a new file or just saving over this animation sequence. The folder I put are the one that I thought it was the most common one, but we can change that. And then this new file name start is if you have a new file name, if you decided to save as a new file, we can have this this prefix that is added before the file name of the new file. So the new file will be called exactly like the old file, but with this prefix. And this Retarget Skeleton I think is extremely useful, and this took me ages to get right. It's running the same retargeting utility, the new one in Unreal Engine 5, but it's doing it all automatically in code, and I had to do a lot of work on this. It was pretty big. And that's it. And then we do here we call split animation, and we call whatever we want to do. We need to do into our animation. So let's just yes, but it's not that easy, of course, because once we define this class, we need then to get to see how this can be converted into a proper widget, because deriving from this class is not enough. I mean, this hasn't got any any place in the code. It's just a declaration. So every time there are quite a few things to do. So the way that I do it is I search where this class is used and see and see and duplicate this functionality into our own class. So let's say that. So it's so we want to add step down animation. So this guy here. So let's just start from the beginning. Right, okay, this one is the file itself. Then here is okay. We need to duplicate this function here. Yes. So this guy here. This is the function of the widget that I think is the one that spawned the actual window. So we want to duplicate this and call it step down animation, right? Step down animation. It creates a new instance of that class, which of course we need to add the include for that. So let's check this guy. So okay, so this is quite important. So this is the button that you see here. Is why did I close it again? So this when you click on this button, this is where it is mapped. It's mapping to, so it does a new button, vertical line, blah blah. So on click object, we want to call our class. Oh yeah, okay. Just let me. We need to have one new class here. You step down. Then we call it step down. Okay, and oops.
Bless me.
Okay, step down. There are other places where we need to do it for now. Okay, the split animation becomes step down animation. This is step down animation. Okay, split. Yeah, and then step down animation. Okay, so this is the this create that window. Okay, and let's create a function definition of this. Function definition. Oh, that's weird. Okay, let's just do it. Okay. Return step down animation tab. All right. There we go. Right, step down animation tab. We have this guy here. Okay, split animation. No. Step down. Step down. Yeah, animation tab. Okay, did it. Perfect. Okay. So look again. What do we use? Do we use split animation? We use it here. Step down animation. We got it. Include. Yes, we had it at the beginning. Okay, it's fine. At the end, so it's fine. So, okay, we need to register now. Register the
Guessing that's the section in that drop down list.
yes, exactly. So is name. On spot, step down. This one we already create, so we only need to define this tab name. I'll do it in a second. Step down. It takes a while to set up, but you only need to do once, and you know
It's not like new code. You just kind of like copying and replacing just it.
Yeah, it's very.
The widget
need
stuff
to make
is pretty
sure
crazy though. There's a lot that goes into just adding a single.
Sorry, David.
There's a lot that goes into adding a tool, like
Yeah,
single additional.
yeah. This is very. Yeah, it's very. It's very verbose. It's very boilerplate. You know, maybe the guy didn't really do the optimal way, but what I like is just it just works. Once you got these things out of the way, we just it just works. So okay, so we go this one. Okay, we added to the menu here. Okay, it's good. This one we converted, right? Yes, converted. Yeah, okay, open, split, okay, we need this. Open, step down, animation window. I think this is the actual command from the menu. Okay. It's just... Okay. Open, step down animation. Okay, good. Yeah, I think we're okay. We've basically done it. Just need to create
to open step down function.
There we go. Okay, fine. Yeah, I think we should have something. We probably forgot something, but it's no big deal. It will give us errors. Oops. Yeah, step down animation tab name. We declare it. Yeah, so I think we got everything. Now open step down, open animation. What is it called here? Oh no, map action. Okay, yeah, we just. Yeah, probably we are forgetting something, but it's not like. It's more like walking down this route. Step down animation window. Oh, do we have this one? Step down animation window. I don't think we have. Yeah, let's get this one as well. Open. A sec. Why this? We did this, right? Open. Oh no, this is actually okay. We missed this. Okay. UI command. Okay, this is the actual. This is the actual menu command. Open. Step down. Animation window. Step down. Animation. Button. Okay, yeah, it's just a button. Okay. Yeah, I did that.
Then no, the one above. The one above that, you just there's a spelling error. You didn't have to open at the start.
Sorry, David. Which one?
I think. Yeah, this one. It's like get dot open step down animation.
Oh, this is an open, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah, we may have made something, but one sec. What's this guy here? Oh, actually, let's make a note. It was Toby 02 towards the end of the sequence, right?
Yeah, it's around 55,000.
Yeah. All right, let's build it. I'm gonna watch my own stream. And I'm gonna put a like. Hello, myself. Oh, wow, it's a bit delayed, this one.
Yeah.
I'll put a like.
It's gonna be Inception soon. You watching you, watching you, watching you, watching you, watching you.
Yeah, it will be. What are the usual suspects? Did you manage to speak with Noma J on the at the
Yeah, I
wall
did.
event?
Yeah, I had a really good chat. A good long conversation. We were stood up on the wall right at the edge. I got way too comfortable. I don't know who I thought I was, but I started getting way too comfortable on the edge of that wall.
Yeah. I saw you. You were.
I was just like just hanging around, just like moving. I like reloaded like so. I've got a film like a manual film camera,
Nice.
like proper like mechanical like. So I was like reloading film on the edge of like a 10-meter drop. I was like, what am I doing? But I did it, and I realized I was like, should I have done that? Probably not. Like if I was to drop the film, I know in my head I would have reached to grab it, and then I would.
Yeah.
But no, that event was sick. I was honestly, I don't say shocked, but I was a bit shocked as to how busy it was. And just it was the perfect location for it. It was such a good event.
Yeah. You were like in one of the best spots, right?
Oh yeah, I think my spot was awesome. I was like above everyone, and I could see like both run-ups. You know what I mean? Like I could see both run-ups. I could see any players. Like it was just good. Good spot to be in.
Did you speak with the guys at the end?
Yeah. I saw them at the after. I went to the after party after, so I saw them.
Oh, you went at the after party.
I spoke a bit to Drew. Saw Josh a bit. I caught Toby right at the end, but there was a lot of people there, so it was just like I didn't want to disturb it. They would just let them do their thing.
Yeah.
But that was really cool. Caught up with Jasmine. Had a good chat with her. Yeah, that was really good. It was good. It was a good day. It was a good event, to be honest.
Yeah, I think today was such a good
it was
day.
a perfect day. Such a good.
Yeah, from all the reasons, right? The weather was amazing, and
The weather was great. It was like sun was shining. Everyone was just in a good mood. And also, I was genuinely shocked as to, like, when they initially announced the spot. The only thing in my head, I was like, how much can you actually do on the wall run? But man, more than I thought. There's people just pulling out crazy stuff. And there was one bit, I don't know if you were there for it. I think his name's Tinloy. He spent about 10 minutes prepping this like front flip thing on the wall.
Oh yeah, Sarah told me. Yeah.
That
was the only time that she was looking at the thing and say, "Well, there was this guy that just spent 10 minutes going up and down."
But the thing is, it was so because you could see it in his head. He was like trying to psych himself to do it, and it was like I was like, it's just so interesting to watch. I need to get my film developed so I can actually see, but I took some pictures of him doing it, of him just trying to psych himself up for it. And it's literally about 10-15 minutes, and then he didn't do it, and then when everyone was kind of focused on something else, he just ran up first try, just ran and did it, and I was like, there you go. I was annoyed
Yeah.
because as well, because like I was doing some like long exposure shots, so I would have the shutter exposed for a long period of time, and then
So the
so that
wall
it would,
blurring.
yeah, so it would capture his movement as long as the wall.
Yeah.
But like but it meant that once he started going, I would try and guess if he would do it in that time. So like I must have wasted like 4 different films of him running up to the wall. So I was like, I'll get so I was like, each time I was like, and then I'd be like, is he gonna do it? I'd be like, no, he's not. Then he'd not do it. I'd be like, cool. And then he'd look like he's gonna do it, so I'd press it, and then he'd like pull out right last. I was like, oh. We'll see how the shots came out. Yeah, really good day for parkour, I think. Oh,
Yeah, I think it was super good for the community, right? It's like
awesome.
because it's 55, right?
Hey, Raj.
Yeah. Good out. So, okay, I'm gonna get the correct frame, but so what we have here is we go window, root motion guide. There is our new widget, step down animation. You click on that, and it opens up this window here. This is the original one with our variables. So now, when you click step down animation, it will execute this function here, which does absolutely nothing at the moment, right? Actually, it checked that the sequence is valid. So if we just click here, oh, interesting. Why does this? Oh, maybe I think here is where we forgot something. On click. What's it? Yeah, what's it do? You know about that? Oh. Was there a breakpoint somewhere? So top 54,672. Oh yeah, so breakpoint into this. Okay, so yeah, it goes into this function and it does nothing as expected. So that's all good, right? It's just you see that little bit of wiring at the beginning, but you know, it's just you do it once and you know those 50 minutes and then you just ready to go. Now, so let's start with the first thing. I think the first thing that we do is to actually trim the animation, right? So let's do that first. So, apart from these files, there are sort of like the main interfaces to the widget UI. I had an extra file which I call root motion utils. I mean, everything is called root motion here. It's a bit weak because it's really the animation utils. But yes, it's just I didn't want to change this name, so okay, just by naming, but we may change it later on. But anyway, this root motion utils, it has all the global functions that each one of those modules uses, right? So if you go here, and we go, this is the trim animation sequence. So this function is just all this code here is pure functional programming. They don't have any side effects. They just parameters in, one parameters out most of the time, and that's it. Just they don't have like, they're not linked to anything. They don't have any dependency. Just functional programming thing. Yeah, and that's it, right? So let's try to use this because we've done already most of the functionality that we required. So it's mostly gonna be like calling the right functions in the right order, and if they're not, rearranging rearranging the code in order to be generic, and so we can reuse it for other tools. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So trim animation sequence. So here we include the root motion utils. So here we got. Oh yes, this bit here is quite important if you want to do undo. So what this guy is doing is begin transaction and end transaction is every time you do a Control Z or Control Shift Z for redo. So this is basically whatever you put here between these two guys here is a one undo keystroke, and it's very useful because you don't want to undo like 20 million times. You only want to do the whole command, right? So this is a very good wrapper because inside here we will do a lot of commands. Okay, so it's probably we're gonna do hundreds of commands, and if you want to do, oh, I just converted this sequence, I want to undo it. You don't want to press undo a million times. You just want to press undo once. So yeah, so let's do that. So we do, first of all, okay, let's have a plan of attack. Step 1, trim animation, trim animation. That's it, really. Just surface planet. Trim animation sequence, and then oh yes, so this is the first thing that that I wanted to that I wanted to show you. Actually, I'll show you in a second. First, I really I want to give you an idea of the functionality. So what the parameters here? Start frame is how we got it. We got start frame because we exposed the variable in the interface, right? Is all these guys here that we read from this this window that we installed in the appropriate variable. So start frame, end frame. Yeah, I think this is pretty much one-to-one mapping. Save new file, save new file. File name start. How do we call them this again? New file name start. I think this is just called prefix, really. Okay, we're gonna rename it later. Start. And then here we go. If it shows you a UI message to tell you what is done, in this case, we don't wanna show it. This is already trim animation sequence. I think he has got some defaults. No, he hasn't got defaults. Okay. Hang on a sec. Why does it got no defaults? Oh, interesting. Oh. Oh, right, okay, fine. Okay. Yeah, I think we need to do exactly this. Okay. So this stores, and then, okay. Trim animation sequence. Not showing the UI message, and then this transaction on here is. Yeah, I think this. Okay, I'll check on that. Oh yes, and I'll show you later how we do the retarget skeleton thing, because that is like super impressive. But for now, let's just do this. Let's just trim an animation sequence, save a new file name, and that's it. And then we'll just double check that this is correct. Toby, so we want to have start frame is, let's see. Yeah, I think we can start from that. Okay, let's start from not there. Why does it look like that is running funny in this? Is it just me, or it looks like it's running quite
I think
funny?
that's just how the thing he's running at that time.
So, yeah, so I think what I would like to do is already a couple of things. Whatever you choose, the start frame and the end frame, we can do two options. One is the option that I'm gonna show you now, is just getting a very conservative run up. So it's a 5-4-6-1-5, and if you see here, it does a lot of steps before he actually steps down, okay? And then it does a lot of steps when he steps off, okay? But I'll explain you why. Yeah, and then we just save a new file. No retargeting for now. Okay, let's just save this. Let's down. Okay, done it. So there are a couple of things that to notice here. So now he executed this code here, which is just trim animation sequence with the parameters that we gave here. And what he did, he created this new animation here, which is the trim animation sequence. Okay. A couple of things. If you look at the file name of the animation sequence, I don't know if you can read very well from the string, but his actually, yeah, it can't. Okay, yeah. So
I think it's actually pretty visible, to be honest.
it's really excellent. So the first two numbers there you see, apart from the prefix, okay, the first two numbers are the start and the end frame of our trim, and then after those two numbers is the actual name of the animation that he has trimmed from. So I thought that was very useful to find out where the source of the animation is, right? It's just by just having that in the file name, and then we're gonna store into a data table and blah blah. But I think that is a very immediate way to, okay, yeah, let's go there. Just let's load the Toby KT02 and those frames there, and then boom, we got our range. So just a small thing that I think is useful. And then the second thing that that I like to point out is the reason why I did so much what's the name so many extra frames is that because I want to automatically trim this animation when we do the phase calculation. So when we do the phase calculation, okay, we do we trim this guy here in a way that it starts pi at pi phase before the jump, and then equally we trim it to maybe like 1 second off to do the nice blending, right? So on the way in, we trim to pi on the phase matching, so we can use the proper mirroring, okay? On the way out, we'll leave it for a little while to blend out, okay? So I think that's a very good idea. Does it make sense to you, David?
Yeah, no, yeah, because the trimming to pi made sense with the phase matching.
Perfect. So okay, so we got that, and now let's do. We trim the animation. So step 2 is move the origin, right?
For those in the stream, the that 1 second after is really important. It's the it's like your cutaway frames or your throwaway frames in any animation. So like the end of the frames after basically give you how much time you can blend out for. So if you have too few frames at the end of the animation, you wouldn't have enough time to actually blend between poses. But if you have enough frames, then you have enough time to. But then you don't want too many frames where it's like you unnaturally force like exaggerated movement. So like if you have like 3 seconds worth of frames and then you say 3-second blend time, it's still going to somewhat hold elements of the previous animation over that 3 seconds, which is wrong technically because that's a lack of responsiveness. Because over the 3 seconds, you want to be solely into the next state or whatever. So 1 second is like a sweet spot. Like 1 second blend time is quite nice. Sorry, Dada. Sorry.
Excellent. So, yeah, step 1 trim. Step 2 move to origin. I mean, I'm just going. I really don't know if this is the right order, but I think it looks okay to me. So, so we trim and then we move to origin, right? Because it's always better to just having like the animations that are not miles away. And also this translate to origin, what it does is quite important. It also translate which I think we need to improve, but I calculate the ground, like the ground level of the animation, and it's really it's a bit messy here, but I think it's a really important part because not only it translates to origin on the X and Y plane, but also on the vertical plane, because this may not be true all the time, but for now, I think that we need to start the animation from the ground, and then if it's jumping up or down, climbing, whatever, it just at least it takes that. The first frame is always your point of reference. It's always where you are. So the first frame needs really to be centered, right, to the ground. I think that's quite important. So let's do that as well, and see if that is correct. Also, we're gonna be quite pedantic here, but you know it's good to check out this thing. So, okay, now it will also move to the origin. Check this out. No, we go here. And yes, and because he did all the calculation, he also added these curves because this is the curves that I needed to calculate the geometry. the offset. The important thing to notice here is that it didn't just move to the origin there. Yeah, see, like, I think this is still wrong though. I think there is something quite not right in there, but we'll take care of that later. But you see here, like, he started from a level and then like it goes down, and I think, yeah, it is very important. But even more importantly is the direction, and it's not as easy as it looks, because if you look from the top, you see that this is like he has got like the initial direction of the trim of the movement to origin. It goes to a positive y, which is like it means that basically go forward. Okay, and that is very important because you can be rotated like and anywhere like in here, and you don't wanna play an animation with the guy that is rotating, I don't know, 45 degrees, because most of the time you want to keep the same forward direction, right? So this is not just translating to the origin, but it's also rotating the whole direction to go as straight as possible. And it calculates the direction from the first second of the motion. Because if we have a 180, of course, the final direction is that it's going back to itself. So we only want to get the start of the motion to get our direction, because then, you know, he can change during the actual animation, whatever he wants to do. But yeah, the things to notice here is that if you have an animation that starts like that runs into a perfect circle, that might be no accurate the forward direction, because he hasn't really got any reference. But for the most part, you notice that the animation that we have, they will just have that 1 second at the beginning of the movement, which they just go, no, they just go forward, and they just go straight forward. You can see here that after a while it starts drifting off this line, right? But that is correct, because later on you can do whatever you want on the animation. It's just this first second here that it just, we need to get it as straight as possible. So that worked, right? That we know that this is moving to the origin and doing all the things. Yeah, the only thing I want to double check later is why it doesn't really do it. There is an offset here, which I'm not entirely sure.
Is that
but as long as
the foot offset?
consistent, okay.
I feel like we've set like a foot. We've set like a foot offset before. Like it's like the offset's the ground.
Oh yes,
like
the shoe offset, right?
Yeah, so I feel like that might be what's causing that.
I think it looks massive. It looks like.
Just check. That's almost 10,
15 centimeters.
Which is wrong, because the shoe was like 2.85, I think.
Yeah, 2.85, something like that. Yeah, there's definitely something going on there. But let's go to the end, and then we do things. So. What do we need to do next? So we trim the animation, move to origin. Oh yes, and now I think step 3 is calculate all the locomotion phases curves, right?
Yeah.
Or and this is the, how do they call it? Speed curves? It's a bit bonkers as a name, but I think, no, it's not this one. It's like, what? How did they call it? Add velocity curves? No, add locomotion curves. Yeah, add locomotion curves. Okay, yeah. So add. Yeah, it just makes sense. At least I choose a correct name this time. Okay, so again, let's be pedantic. Let's just check. Okay, down. No, that's fine. It's just because that window there is buggy. It's if you have the animation open when you're actually changing it, it really gets, you know, it is really angry. Can anyone in the stream tell me what were the start and end frame, please? Can you go back like 1 minute in the stream and give me that number because I lost them now.
54,615.
One second. All right, so let's go KT2. That's been changed. That's okay. So you know, I hate when this is. How can I get rid of this window here? This really. Step down on the chin. No. Yes. Okay, step down animation. Yeah, sorry, David. Can you tell me the names then? Yeah, the numbers?
54,615. 54615 and 54682.
Perfect. You know, maybe we can have something that that goes to the animation of that frame. That would be quite cool. 6, 8. Yeah. Okay. So let's do it. Step down animation. Okay. So now we added the phase. What? What is this guy doing? Okay. Whoa. Wide face curve. Oh, you know, we still have this problem here. Or just the faces they going completely bonkers. It's all good, but why this face curve is crushing the thing. These numbers. No, actually, let me copy someone. So 5, 4, 6, 1, 5, 4, 6, 2. Okay, so you remember that we had this problem before that for some reason this curve just doesn't want to be correct.
Does not want to cooperate at all.
It's just all garbage numbers.
It's just, yeah, whoa.
Yeah, it's
Maximum value seems correct though. 6 point something. Miss me. Dado. Okay. This is interesting. Is the stream still live? Anyone on the stream, can you just let me know if you can still hear me? Mine stuff isn't on the crashed. Doesn't seem like mine's will crash. Can never be sure. Interesting. Ugh. Dado, are you there?
I think I'm back, right? But
Oh, there you go.
yeah,
Excellent. I can hear you now.
weird. Okay.
What happened there? Yeah, I can see your screen again. Can't see you.
Oh yes, this thing is not working anymore, right?
Yeah, I can't see you.
Yeah, this. What's going on? Okay, well, okay. For now, we'll just. I'm gonna be. It's the black box there.
Okay. Squares.
Okay. Fine. Right. So yeah, I don't know. Like everything crashed. So, yeah, let's go back. So, why that thing has got those silly numbers? This is quite worrying because for some reason, the phase curve is always like, well, not always, but he has problems. I really can't understand why that. Why that?
If you out of curiosity, if you do it without the phase curve in the step down animation thing, but then apply it after, how does it work? Does it work
Yeah,
fine?
we can try that. Yeah.
But so like, you just use the add phase curves tool.
Yeah.
Maybe then it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit annoying because we really need to have that in order to complete the pipeline, right?
Yeah.
But let's try. So I'm gonna get. There's windows here. Right. Okay. Having this, and we're running. Okay, that's good. Save this. I know actually they won't save it.
Hey, Beast Life. Hope you're all as well.
Ah. It's so annoying. I mean, you run the same code, so you would expect that, but why is it? Why is it doing that? I just. Is that because? It must be just some memory allocation thing with that. Because I debugged those numbers and they were numbers. They were all fine.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything crazy. So okay, let me try something. I'm gonna convert the animation. I'm gonna save the file. No, actually, it is already saved, right? So now I won't open that window. I will just do.
Yeah, just do that.
Because it's been ages since we had it.
Yeah, I've not had it in a very long time, I think.
Yeah. Just doesn't like it.
Use of undeclared identifier, right, bull.
No, this is just my. I was debugging something. Yeah, it's just the UI gets crazy because that curve there, the numbers there, they're complete garbage. I mean, okay, I mean that's.
Yeah, it was
less tech, but it's just what garbage can there be?
What's up with SPP? Yeah, it's coming along. We're doing a lot of work on the gameplay and feel of this. So, I was having this conversation with a couple people actually at Big Wall Open. I was talking to Noma about the game, and someone was overhearing, so he started asking some questions. I was saying how like I don't know, probably for the same. It's weird because I think with like to answer your question, Beast, like basically 0.10 is coming soon. Hopefully, towards the end of this month is our aim. We're sort of shooting for. But yeah, it's such a weird thing because like someone said there's like we're spending a lot of time on the locomotion and stuff like that. It's like that is the game, really. Do you mean? It's like where other games can kind of put a bit of time and move on and then just over time improve it. Because everything else stems from the locomotion for us. It's like, if that's not very good, everything else is just going to suck. Like, it doesn't even matter what you mean. You can't really have game modes if you can't run around fluidly. Like, everything stems from a really solid and really fun and really like advanced locomotion system. So if the general movement around the world isn't good, it's just like, they're not even good if it isn't like towards final. It's just not even going to be worth doing anything else. But yeah, hoping that once this version, and once we refine the pipeline, like we're adding all these tools now to speed up the pipeline and stuff. Like once we refine all this stuff, and we get the character moving around environments really fluidly, then really we should be able to add other features like different moves, different jumps, like flip tricks, all that stuff, really quick, like fairly quickly comparatively to this locomotion thing. Like this is the crux of the game, but it's something you can't really rush, you know, because you'll just fail.
Who said that we were spending a lot of time on the locomotion? At the wall?
No. Yeah, so I was speaking to some one of the guys on the wall. He's like, "Oh, I follow the thing." He's like,
Really? Nice.
yeah, because he was saying he's seeing it like because of updates. Like, it's been a while since the last update. Fair enough, and I said it's because you know, like we've been redoing a lot of the gameplay. Really, it's like the feel of it. I mean, you play every day as well with me. Like, obviously, I've said it many times. Like, it just feels better to control the character now.
Yeah, a million times better. Yeah.
A million times better.
Yeah.
And we still have we're missing a lot of coverage. So as we add more and we have less wonky animations, it's gonna get even. So.
Yes, and the thing is that it's not even we're missing all the mirroring animation in the locomotion, and it's already looking a lot better, right?
That's what I mean, yeah. Like, there's a lot still to add, and it still feels alright. So it's like, okay, it's promising. But it's one of those things that you just can't. It's like this is the part we can't. Like we can. Like, it's so weird. Like you'll get to a point, but then it's like it's like you can either just give it to you, and it's like we're not happy with it, or we just make it good. Like the step downs, like we had I think about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we had the step downs at a pretty okay point, like when we were doing the distance stuff, and like it could have been very easy just to release that and be like, yeah, just have that. But it just wouldn't have worked in the long run. So there's just no point. Like there just isn't any point in like releasing it. It's like releasing something to the second you release it, just delete it straight after. But okay, let's do it again. It's just like that. It's just no point.
Oh yeah.
Because it's just unrealistic expectations of where the game is at as well. I think in full transparency, just release when you actually think something is good. Obviously, there's a difference between releasing something to get a feel for. Test out different mechanics and see what kind of thing, get a feel for it. But releasing something like the Locomotion when it's just in a state that you're like not happy with at all, for me, it's just not worth it. I think that's why we're taking so much time on it. 19.
Yeah, I think I got this, David.
I was getting like 19 point.
There is number 66. There is not a number.
Number 66.
Okay, so, yeah, if you go, I don't know if you can see it, but we go here.
Oh, I see here. So number 6, is that a frame or?
Yes, frame 66. Well, the curve, like the face curve, and number 66 it has got none. So this will crash. So it's basically the last frame. So let's have a look. Right? But these two are correct. These two have got values that are not silly. So the inputs of this are good. So it's really in between. Inside this function, like this 66 is 1, okay, and this 66 is 0.
0, okay.
Oh, that's interesting. No, I mean, it could be really. Okay, so face. Okay, so he has got a problem then. Yeah, like I don't know why I just did this code. Really, I just even wrote a note to myself.
1985, is that just what does that
I know
mean?
that for you it's like prehistoric times, but for me it was yeah, not so long ago. No, kidding. Yeah, okay, I think this is. I never understood why I had to do this. I thought, I mean, how on earth did I? Yeah, so let's check this guy here. Okay, I need to stop this because this is just gonna crash. Okay, you know what? Let's debug this guy here. Let's debug it. You know, get the perfect chance. And at least it's reproducible, because I think the problem before was that I don't know, it looked random and wrong, but at least now I'm happy because apparently we got a case in which we can reproduce. So should be okay to fix now.
Yeah, but when you don't release versions of the game, the hype just goes down. It's really hard to do a game maintaining the hype. Yeah, it is 100%. But
What is that?
I think when no, so I'm answering Peace Life sent a message, said when you don't release versions of the game, the hype goes down. It's really hard to do a game while maintaining that. Yeah, 100%. I think we're in a kind of a lucky situation with STORROR, with them being the kind of brand they are in. I think it's always going to be able to regenerate hype. But what I don't think you can ever get back from is giving people a shit impression of the game and then expecting them to believe it when you say it's good. You know, like, if all you see is crap and then I'm telling you, oh, it's really good now, you're like, well, no, I don't believe you, I'm not going to buy it. It's all I've played, all I've seen, it just sucks. So, but if you're releasing quality content, it's like, at least then it's like, if anyone looks back, it's like, oh wow, okay, this actually looks good. Like, if a year ago it looked good, imagine what it's like now. Because I think the hype we can always build back up. So if you know, it's just, but like the trust of the people that you are paying for it, and because I think people just also don't. I mean, it's not really game devs' fault. People just have weirdly unrealistic expectations of game dev. Like, I think they think, like, I saw, you know, the GTA 6 leak data.
Yeah,
I saw
like the first minute they had exactly the same problem on the animation that we are having, but they're like 10 years down the line, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. But I was like, oh, they're having the same issues as us. So I was like, oh, everyone has it. But I was like, I just saw the comments. I was like, people were like, oh my god, this game's gonna be terrible. Look at the. I was like, this is not what the game is gonna be. It's like, oh, the characters are buggy. They need to fix X, Y, Z. I'm like, they know. they don't look at things. Like, yeah, you know what? I think the characters should just fly through the map.
Yeah, that is very hard. Like, every time you show something to the public, which is not like, okay, one, there are some people that do it just for trolling, okay,
just for trolling,
like, if you show it to, I don't know, to my mom, if you show that GTA 6 leak, say, oh, look, mom, it is a game, she's not gonna research into the fact that there was a leak and the game is not supposed to be released, that they've been working on for many years, and like she just looking at the images, right, and she said, yeah, shit. Like,
that's what I mean,
that is my worry, that like, if we don't have an extremely strong, like the last video that we killed of Instagram, I didn't like when we shown all the bugs, because I'm pretty sure that even if you were explaining that, I think there was a few most people were just muted, but apart from that, I'm pretty sure that like, some people, and maybe the majority of the people, would just say, oh yeah, it still looks shit.
Yeah.
But I think it's so hard to explain to people, like, either you have something that is completely untouchable, right, and you cannot attack it in any way, or if you have to explain, you have a problem. And like, when I did my business pitch, you know, like, you go to talk to the investors and you need to prepare your presentation, blah blah. I always thought that if I have to explain why things don't working, it's just I'm already lost. I already lost the pitch. I just want to go there and there is nothing that I'm showing that is wrong. I mean, they will reject it for like a million other reasons, but at least the stuff that I present is like immaculate. It's like, okay, this is what it is, and they say, yeah, I don't like it, it's rubbish, blah blah. That's fine, but
Oh,
like,
fair enough.
but
Yeah.
they cannot attack what's in. So and I think like that position that they're in, they are screwed basically. I think Rockstar is very pissed off, and I know a lot of people working there, and like I know this guy. You know, he's been a friend of mine forever. He was sharing the flat with me, and I've been knowing him for a million years, and I just and you know I was telling, oh yes, you know I worked there, blah blah, and like even with me, he couldn't really tell me anything. He said, Dado, I really cannot tell you. I mean, look, you know, like I don't. First of all, I don't care, but like, you know, you can tell me if you know. I don't know, like, oh, you don't. I don't like that tree that we put down because of blah blah. There is no risk, but the company is so secretive that like that is really brainwashing the employees, and I know that there is. I also did an interview there, and it was a very strange place. So I know that the company is super. It's almost like Apple. They're weird, like with their with the secrecy, and I think they're totally pissed off.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah.
I remember with that video last one that we killed. Like, I think you're 100% right. I think one of my mistakes I was making it is like, in my head, I'm like, oh, we're super transparent with development, so everyone's gonna know. Like, we don't hide anything, so it can't be that people are confused because we're totally transparent with what we do and what we do. But then that is considering that people will actually be willing to look at our transparency and not just that 10 seconds they take is what they see of the game, and they'll form an opinion immediately like that. But that's like, people aren't like that. Yeah. People won't be like, oh, the company is transparent about something, let me actually see the current state of it, honestly. Because people are like, because I mean, and then humans are, what you show them is what they believe. Do you mean like realistically? Yeah. Like they don't question anything. They'll be like, why is it like that? Or how come is it this state? And it's like, oh, let me have a look. Oh, it's because they've only just started. There's like 3 of them working on it. Do you know what I mean? They'll be like, oh my god, this massive team, and they can't really produce this. Oh, that's terrible. I'm not gonna buy this game. So no, you're right. But I don't know. People in general just need to. But I think it's like, yeah, I think there's like people that understand the difficulty of game dev, and then others that, like you said, because it is such a. And I think it's maybe the industry kind of causes the problem for itself. It is okay, like you don't hear anything, and then all of a sudden they have this brand new game. You're like, well, yeah, it must have just pulled it together out of nowhere. It's like, well, no, this would have been in the pipeline for how many years? Do you mean with thousands of people working on it? But you don't hear about that, so it's just like you just think that companies are just firing out games left, right, and center, like it's nothing. So when you see something in early development, you're like, what the fuck is this? Like, what's going on here? It's like like with GTA, you think because GTA, the quality of GTA is so high, you think that like when you make the game, they just make the game and then within a year it's gonna look amazing, but you don't get. But it's because they don't say anything about dev. They don't talk about their dev. They don't say the struggles they're having, like the people they work with, all that crap. So because you can't really blame them, but the viewer, the consumer, really only their knowledge of the game is just this perfect thing. So when they see something that contradicts their knowledge, it's just like, whoa, what's going on? This game's gonna suck.
Yeah, no, but I think like they've been, of course, in the industry forever, for a long time, and they found the things that work for them, and they, I think, I mean, I don't agree with their way of doing things, but at the same time, you know, the company is super successful in the way they do their things. So it's like Apple, right? I think Apple, from a quality point of view, is making incredible products, right? I mean, there is a bit of hype that is a little bit that I don't like, but I mean, from a quality, you cannot question Apple, but it's a really shit place to work there. I mean, again, I got friends working there, and it's like, and it's like going to a prison. Like, it's super shit to work for. But then, that is the way they do things, and they're the biggest company in the world. They go whatever $1 trillion in the bank and blah blah.
Works
So
for them, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
don't really say they're doing it wrong, right?
Wrong, yeah. It's just like, yeah, you can't. Rockstar made. They also make amazing games, so it's like if it's one of those ones, like if you're making amazing games, then your pipeline must work somehow. It must be right in some way.
Yeah.
But it does mean that stuff like this is like if someone showed footage like from us, like thinking you go, be like, oh yeah, whatever. It's like we showed that. It's on our YouTube channel if you really want to check it out. I mean, it doesn't matter. So stuff like this doesn't affect us like in our model, but if their model is so just like damaging because it's like the entire image of the game has just been like even the location and everything has just been scrapped. Like now everyone knows it's like set in like Vice City kind of vibe, the kind of characters and stuff like that. So oh well.
Yeah, I don't really
they'll make enough money. They'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean,
they'll just like a year from now, people will forget. They won't release it for another 2 years, and then they'll drop one trailer, it'll get like 100 million views, and everyone will pre-order it. It'll sell out, break the internet, and they'll make a billion or something, and then they'll be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the funny thing is that none of this will ever matter to the 99.99% of the people. It'll only matter to the ultra geeks, and I really that is the thing that I never really liked I think the video game industry as to be a developer in the video game industry is one of the most healthy industries. In a way, everywhere it's got their own bad things, but the community of developer I think is the best one that I've been part of. It's really good. And but what I do like is the players. And just don't get me wrong, but it's like you're playing football and you play for Barcelona, and like you say that the people going to the stadium are idiots, right? And but I think what I do like about the community of players is that they I don't know, the mental projection of something that they don't understand the process, right? They don't know the in and outs, and they just assume that their little bubble is the ground truth, and it's almost I don't know, it's almost like some people really think that they own the game, like I don't know, that they made an investment like in the stock market, and they really have the rights to to eat. And say no, like it's just like I bought a pizza 2 days ago with my family, and it was pretty much the price of a game. I mean, I really don't think about, I invested my £50 in eating a pizza, and now I need to think about the consequence of my £50 I was spending on the pizza. I get spent £50 and I bought a pizza. I mean, you spend £20 and I buy the game, but I don't know, like your life doesn't depend on that, right? It's just like, I don't know, like why some people are so obsessed with such a little, I don't know, such a little
I think for me it's just I think the only thing I see that I'm like it's just there's such negativity, and I've never understood it, like, and I think that it's from developers there's nothing but positivity, and like even like negativity is constructive. Do you mean it's like, oh well, let's help you. Like even like Christian, like when he was telling us about it was all about, like, when we had our chat, it was just positive. Like it was like, oh yeah, look, it's not there yet, and there's so many things to improve it. But like it was all about positive, like, oh well, we can see what it can be. We're talking about the possibilities rather than just be like, this sucks, this is terrible, this is awful, it's not very good. And it's just like, oh, like you're looking at, whoa, it could be better this way, it could be better that way. Whereas I feel like it's just like from the consumer, there's so much that's just like, this sucks, this isn't good, this doesn't work, there's a bug here, this isn't working. I'm like, well, 99% of the time we know And then the other time it's just like, it's just, you know what I mean? It's like, well, I want the game to be just as good, to be fun. Do you mean? No one wants the game to suck. You don't want to make a game that isn't fun to play. But there's just no like, there's the animations look a bit janky, but like when they're smoothed out, this is going to be amazing. It's just like the animations suck. I was like, well, yeah, well, yeah, but we've been making it for a year, like two of us, three of us. You know what I mean? It's like, it's gonna get better. Like, there's no like, I can't wait for. Well, I mean, and to be fair, there is, but I think that's because of the market, the kind of community we're in. Like, the parkour community is actually one of the most positive and upbringing communities in all sport, quite frankly. There's just no negativity when it comes to parkour, I find, in terms of like comments and stuff like that. But then I think I think what's weird is that all the comments from the parkour community are so positive, because they're like, they see, what this could, like, what we're actually trying to do. They're like, like once this is smoothed out and they add all the things and add all the features and get it right, it's going to be so good. And they get it. But then from the gaming community of people that just play games, they're just like, this sucks. This isn't GTA 6 level. It's like, well, like, how could it be yet? You know, so I don't know.
Yeah,
some people just different perspectives on things.
Right. Like they just see 10 seconds, right, of a video, and they say, it's rubbish or it's good. So, but like, if you like the contest, of course, of course, it's totally like your judgment is, it's pretty much useless, right? If you don't. But then again, like, they are correct in a way that, if we show 10 seconds, it should be always
good. Like perfect.
Like, even if we are early, it should be untouchable early. You know, like instead of having half finished stuff, it's just like, okay, this is the running loop, and it's beautiful, even if it's all no materials, and even just
it's really good.
The normal skeleton. But if it works, there is that.
But then it's the same people that be like, I wish game devs were more transparent. And it's like, it's like, I can't be, because if I am, you tell us we suck, and if I'm not, then you tell us you should have been more transparent. And it's like, we'll just give you the
I think transparency for us is not a problem. It may become a problem at some point when
but it's a bit more real back to build that hype. I think in its early stages where we're just working on it, it's fine. But I think as game modes and systems and mechanics begin to become like fleshed out, to have some kind of like what's going on, I think we'll probably reel back, quite frankly, so that releases can be a bit more exciting. And then you can have like, new gameplay. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, you won't have some little surprises, right? Because that is what's quite cool about them.
I got shut off for like 5-10 minutes, though.
So I think I wanna get this. So I know I think I'm imagining what's happening here. So like this guy here, what is red? I just wanted to have a look where this guy reaches the end. Let's see this. Face mapping keys. I need to remember this code exactly, but face mapping keys is these guys here. Okay, okay. Right. Okay. Yes. I think. Yeah. Okay, I think what's happening here is, well, this will be this is a bit of a mess, but so here we have the indexes where the we have two curves here in input, left and right. These are not bone offset. These are left and right foot touching the ground, and is 0 if it's touching the ground, and 1 if it's not touching the ground, and for both the left and the right foot. Now, what this thing does is it basically had every time there is a change in between 0 and 1 on these two curves, it add a mark of that. Okay, this is like where the right foot is off, so it needs to add a phase mark, which is 0 and 2 pi, which are the same number. And when it's the left one, it adds a mark at the pi at this key. Okay, and then this is the stuff that goes wrong. Here it will actually here it will interpolate. Here it will extrapolate the beginning and the end, and here it will interpolate between 0 and pi linearly based on this array, on the values of this array. So basically here we only tag what is the 0, the pi, and the 2 pi, and here we fill that data, like we throw it going between 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, blah blah, until it's like until it's pi, and then we go, we interpolate the array. And I think at some point here, for some reason, this index here is bonkers, and it makes these two guys are bonkers rather, and makes the last element not a number. I think this is what is causing it. So it's probably take a while to debug it, because I want to really to debug it properly. So let's finish the stream here, unfortunately, and let's come back tonight. When you're back tonight, I want to have the this problem sorted, and I'll continue expanding this guy here, because it's just gonna expand in like those steps, and basically I'm gonna walk you through that, and hopefully we will have the complete tool that we can have all the animation ready to be played in phase matching and mirroring, and that really should be it for now.
For the step downs, and then I mean, hopefully if today is tomorrow we can finish off these step downs, because then that allows us this weekend to start looking at the climb ups and stuff like that, climbing up things again, reintegrating that, and then next week we can look at the state of everything and plan our release.
Is the step up is exactly the same logic, or is slightly different?
Well, I'm gonna change the logic. I want to do it so that it hits the wall and then steps up. So I'm gonna need some phase matching stuff, but it's gonna I'm gonna look at the logic of that in terms of I need to once the step downs are done, I'm gonna reassess the logic of that, because I want to change how we do that. But that's gonna be something different.
Because we cannot use the same logic, right? Of the
no, it's gonna be different logic than the step down, because the step down I think is encapsulated within the falling, like we've done now. The step up but the one thing I do really like is how late we trigger step downs, like with the fact we trigger step downs when you're off the wall. I really like that. And I think it works really well because it gives you the maximum amount of time to be able to do things like jumping off the ledge and stuff like that.
Yes, that's
And I
actually
want something similar for the step ups and climb ups because I want it to be like I want to give the user, like, if you want to jump up the ledge or do like a tic tac off it, whatever, it gives you the maximum amount of time to do that. So yeah, I want to look about how I approach that.
But it's a tricky one because
It's tricky.
you want to have to give the maximum amount of time, but you also don't want to break the rhythm.
The
like,
rhythm, yeah.
break
Like,
the
you don't want it to
rhythm.
hit the wall and then go up something, you know? It needs
Exactly,
to,
yeah.
because like stepping up things, whereas stepping down, you step off from the edge, you go to the edge and then you step off. Or like in this case, sometimes you step off just before, but you don't really lose the rhythm because you're stepping off of it. Whereas when you're going up something, you need to generate, like, if you're stepping up something, you'll do that well before the actual edge of the wall.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
what we can have is exactly the same data and the same node,
yeah,
and we just need to change the logic of when we trigger it,
when
right?
we trigger it,
Because
yeah.
the rest is
But
gonna be
I want the
same.
same kind of approach, sort of like the trajectory stuff, like moving it on there. But yeah, we need to change when it's triggered. But I think what I might do is trace the character trajectory a little, like a couple frames forward. I actually had that in place already. I got rid of it, but just trace it a couple frames forward to say like, oh, given this speed, what are you gonna do? And then if you hit like an edge, then we transition in. Like if it's like 2, 3, 4 frames. But that's sort of, yeah. I'll do that tonight. Cool.
As well.
Let's do it.
Excellent.
Awesome,
Right,
guys.
and I'll catch you on
Cheers.
later.